While Brett's getting started, just going to run through real quick. We're going to turn it over to Brett right at the beginning. He's got a lot of information to go through, as you can imagine. There is a lot to cover on a 125 night cruise. It would appear that everyone who's on the webinar today has been on a previous webinar, so they're aware of MOA vacations, what we do, and those types of things. When we get to the end, we'll do a Q&A and answer any questions people might have. In fact, if you have any questions during the presentation, you can go ahead and ask them, and I will answer them to the best of my ability. Unlike Brett, who actually was working on board Viking and has done had done a world cruise before, so he's got firsthand knowledge. But I will do my best. But at the end, we will make sure that we answer all of your questions. We are recording this webinar, so later this evening you'll get an email so you can revisit it. Um, Brett, you can share your screen, correct, for the presentation. There you go. I was going to mention this is the first time we have ever done a MOA World Cruise. We have two people booked already, and this morning someone called and reserved a stateroom. So even though the webinar is just starting right now, we already have three couples confirmed. We're hoping to get somewhere in the 16 to 20 range, which I think will really enhance your world cruise experience if you're sailing the world, with 16, 18, 20 of your fellow MOA members from across the country. Brett, if you just want to kind of go through my slides real quick, typically I would talk about MOA, what makes us unique. I think everybody here knows that already. And then the next slide is the information that you should all have, which is just our email and our phone number. Please give us an email or a call if you have any questions about the World Cruise. Brett's going to go over the promotional offer that ends on May 31st, but it is lucrative if you haven't seen it. $4,000 shore excursion credit, a $2,000 onboard credit, which is up to $4,000 onboard credit. If you've sailed on Viking previously, free business class air. Now, granted, the cruise is Los Angeles to London, so only one of those flights is going to be international, but still business class flights. You have the beverage package. Who wants to go on a cruise for 125 days without having access to the silver beverage package? Wi-Fi is included on this May 31st promotion, so you can keep in touch with everybody back home and let them know what a fun time you're having. A few other perks. I'm sure Brett's going to go through it. So we've got, I think we had 89 people sign up for the webinar today. I know that many people aren't on live, but as if you don't attend live, you'll get to receive it. We are also promoting or featuring the World Cruise in the upcoming July MOA magazine ad. It will actually be on the back cover of the magazine. So with 2029 a ways off, we have plenty of time to grow the group. As I said, I really think for those of you who've done MOA groups before, everyone talks about how much it adds to the experience to get on board. And basically, as I always like to say about your fellow MOA members, you're just friends you haven't met yet. So we will continue to promote this for the coming months and probably years until the ship fills up. But we are hoping to relatively quickly with the interest we've had to this webinar to hit that kind of 16, 18, 20 people, which is going to be a great size group for an event like this. So without any further ado, Brett, I'm going to turn it over to you. I know we have so much to get through. I'm going to turn my camera off. As I said, I will be answering questions during this presentation. And then at the end, we'll go through all of the questions, standard what we do in all the webinars. So Brett, take it away.
Thank you so much, John, and very excited to share more with you. John, is my audio coming through okay?
Yeah, I hear you fine.
Good, good. Well, thank you all. It's a holiday weekend. I know you're probably getting ready to set off for holiday weekend adventures. I'm heading through Atlanta Airport right now, so apologize if there's any background noise, but really want to share more about exploring the world in comfort with Viking and setting sail with this world cruise opportunity. And so with Viking, of course, the world cruise is kind of the the greatest opportunity to see so many destinations in a single itinerary, getting to see the destination being that that's our biggest focus, the culture, the history, the music, and of course, everything that biking does is carefully curated. So, really want to share about some of the insights. As John mentioned, I have worked on board our ships. I worked on board for a world cruise, worked on board more than 9 months at one time as an excursion manager and a hotel general manager. So know most of this itinerary. So hopefully, if you have questions towards the end, I can answer those. Otherwise, can get you those answers and make sure that you have all the information you need to easily be able to explore the world in comfort with biking. And as you probably know, we are not everything to everyone. We've got great opportunities for you to sail with other curious-minded guests. We're no children, no casino, so you will have some time away from all the kids and grandkids, but it's a great way to connect with other adults, like-minded individuals, to be focused on enrichment culture, all of the places that we travel to. And as John mentioned earlier, very inclusive product. And so the amount of benefits that are already included with this voyage, from your Wi-Fi, your bottled water, your excursion each day. There's so much even added in value for shipboard credit currently. So I'll go over some of those things, but one of the biggest advantages to a world cruise is the experience with our crew. Our crew are dedicated to serving and giving you the best experience, but they'll really get to know your preferences, know about you, about your family, and so you'll be able to enjoy that journey all together. And so, from my experience on board, got to know quite a few of our guests very intimately and got to cherish those relationships and still have relationships with some of our guests from the world cruise I worked on board. Now, of course, we're the Thinking Person's Cruise. We're going to have so much enrichment all around the world, whether that be in destinations, as you set sail in more exotic places, or even a little bit more close to home, whether that be LA or towards London at the end of the sailing. We really want to focus on the history, the culture, the music, and you're going to get that through and through everywhere that we stop. You'll also get the beautiful scenery, and you'll be able to learn with the locals about all of this. And so, so much that we will share on the journey, and you'll also get to connect with like-minded guests. Many of you are well-traveled, and you'll meet lifelong friends, but also being able to travel with other MOAA members, you'll be able to share stories of past travels or even of your journeys throughout life. And so, this is a great way to really enjoy the sailing. Now, the cuisine will be really celebrated no matter where we're traveling throughout the entire voyage. So you'll get a chance to taste different cuisine, whether that be uh, in parts of Polynesia as you set sail across that area, over in Australia, New Zealand, up to Singapore, over to South Africa. There's going to be different tastes that you'll be able to enjoy. Of course, we'll always have our always available. You'll always be able to get a chicken or salmon steak. That's always available for you. But it's also so many destination focused menus that'll allow you to taste things without having to go ashore and purchase more. Of course, that included value. This is part of all of our sailings, but on board our world cruise, you're going to get all of this plus much more. And depending on your stateroom category, can really be even more enhanced with the amenities that are enjoyed. And many of these are even enhanced with our ground transportation and our air transportation for the world cruise. Now, when you go ashore, of course, always we're going to have that included tour. Our included tour will fit in the first two categories of the local life and the working world. And then our privileged access is going to be that behind the scenes. And so as you go around to different ports of call, you'll have the chance to see how locals interact going into local shops or markets, being able to meet the locals, maybe see some of their dance culture or see some of their music. You'll get to go behind the scenes in the working world and see how life has been sustained. So all throughout the journey, you'll be able to be able to understand, the history and culture of the working world as well. And then privileged access. Of course, this is going behind the doors that mostly are closed off to the public, going into the archives of museums. Our goal is to give you those behind the scene tours, and we're going to have a lot of those throughout the entire world cruise. And so you'll have the opportunity to go on those included tours as well as some of those privileged access more behind the scenes as you travel. Now, of course, our ship is absolutely stunning. This is going to be on the Viking Vesta, one of our newest ships that will be sailing for the World Cruise. Now, the Viking Vesta has some great accommodations, very similar to what you see with the additional, sports decks, the pools, the fitness center, the spa. You'll be able to relax in the saunas and the steam rooms. There's no additional charge to use the spa and fitness center. We have the Broadway style shows in our main theater. We even have our nightclub, Torshaven, 8 different dining options for you. Just absolutely stunning all throughout. We're going to travel the whole world, and Viking does that throughout all of its journeys. But this journey really gets to see so much. And you can actually add extensions before or after too, if you're looking at staying on a little bit longer, or before setting sail, if you're looking at traveling a different region. Do reach out to John and Mike with MOAA Vacations. They can help you to maybe even do some shorter journeys before selecting this itinerary. I've got a short video that kind of highlights the actual experience of sailing on Viking, and this is going to be about our ocean vessels.
The all-veranda Viking Star, Viking Sea, and Viking Sky are the ships our river guests inspired us to build. With just 930 guests, these small ships are thoughtfully designed to enrich your journey in every aspect. And because of our size, we're able to dock in prime locations. We also use the latest green technology, and all our ocean ships meet the strictest environmental regulations. Outside, our main pool with retractable roof is always perfect for a swim, even if the weather should be less than perfect. And we didn't just add an aft pool, we created the infinity pool to give you a sense of swimming right in your destination. When you yearn for serenity, the Winter Garden is the place to unplug and indulge in an afternoon tea service. Even the spa experience has been reimagined. In addition to holistic methods, we follow Nordic tradition with a treatment that combines an invigorating sauna with our remarkable snow grotto, where snowflakes gently descend from the ceiling through chilled air to greatly improve the body's circulation. Every destination has its own flavor, and on board Viking Star, Sea and Sky, you can taste them all. Our menus feature regional specialties made with locally sourced ingredients, along with always available American classics. There are multiple dining options, from relaxed and casual to our elegant restaurant. Perhaps you'd enjoy the chef's table for a specially prepared tasting menu complete with wine pairings. Or Manfredi's Italian restaurant for a classic Italian antipasto, delicious handmade pasta, or tempting tiramisu. If a quiet private meal is what you desire, we offer 24-hour room service. And since the ultimate dining room is the great outdoors, Viking Star and her sister ships each offer more al fresco dining experiences than any other ships at sea. And then, of course, there are the accommodations. Great care was taken to ensure that every stateroom is an inviting home on the water, designed with the understated elegance Viking has come to be known for. The choices range from comfortable staterooms to spacious suites. And every one has a veranda, so you're always just steps away from stunning views. Join us as we usher in a new era of ocean cruising. On board the ships of Viking, you'll enjoy ocean cruising reimagined, while exploring the world in comfort.
That's the voice of Karina Hagen, our executive vice president, who is very hands-on with many of the design features of the vessel. So that's our Star class vessel. And so that's the Viking Vesta will be in that same category, giving you such beautiful views, that residential design, Scandinavian design, light color woods, beautiful, well-appointed. It's not opulence and gaudiness. You won't see gold leaf and diamond chandeliers, but it's kind of your living room, your home away from home. Beautiful place to relax and hear the great music in the afternoon, whether it be our string musicians or our resident pianist. Great artwork all throughout the vessel as well. As you travel along the ship, you'll also be able to go up to our Explorer's Lounge, a two-tiered lounge with space for you to play games or read books. take in the beautiful views, have a wonderful bar for coffee in the morning or a glass of wine in the evening. There's so much to be seen from this area, but also just a place to relax and take in the scenery. Our winter garden, where we have afternoon tea every day, you can just relax in this area, and even a place for gathering. So if a number of you want to get together and maybe play cards or have a private gathering, this is a great venue to do that with other maybe MOA members as the group gets together on board. As I mentioned, curated libraries throughout the ship. There's a number of books that you can use to kind of borrow and then you kind of put back, or you can even bring your own books to share with others. I mentioned those different dining options for you. We do have 8 different dining options from Manfredi's, the Italian cuisine, Mumson, our Norwegian deli, Winter Garden, where we have afternoon tea every day. Chef's Table is going to have 7-course gastronomy. So throughout the voyage, that menu is going to rotate every about 7 days. You're going to have different menus that'll be in Chef's Table. Then in the World Cafe, that's really going to highlight the destination cuisine in a buffet style setup, but really cook to order stations. So you're going to have a sushi chef rolling sushi. You're going to have live stations with grill chefs and pizza, noodle bar. There's a lot of different options for you here. And of course, lighter fare, burgers, chicken wings, steak sandwiches, all around the pool grill, 24-hour room service, and of course, the main restaurant where breakfast, lunch, and dinner is served, and a little bit more fine dining or a white tablecloth dining, but a great way to take in all of the views in these large picture windows while dining. Now, your stateroom is your home away from home. It's going to be your retreat. We've got a number of different staterooms, from our standard veranda stateroom all the way to our owner suites. So the number of or the amount of square footage really does range on how much space you wish to have, but all of our staterooms are quite spacious. You'll notice all the fine details, though, from when you walk in, the heated floors and the anti-fog mirrors in the stateroom bathrooms. Every stateroom has a refrigerator, and so you're able to stock that with some of your favorite drinks. And our stateroom attendants will get to know what your preferences are, and so they'll make sure that they're always stocked with those. If you have a favorite beverage, wine or spirit, they'll be able to stock it with that as well. But many guests choose to kind of just let their stateroom attendant know, and then they'll be able to give you really as you desire. As you step out, every stateroom does have a veranda, a great place for you to enjoy maybe some al fresco room service in the morning. Really, though, all of our guests have the ability to order breakfast, lunch, or dinner out on those verandas. In that lower picture, you see one of our Explorer suites that actually has a wraparound veranda. It has a great living room and dining room. All of our suites are actually 2-room suites that will give you plenty of space to separate that living space as well as the sleeping area. So when looking at the different stateroom categories, you really are able to see and understand the different amenities that come along with it. Some of them will even have complimentary laundry service. Others might have some additional kind of shipboard credits. Even on our owner suite, private tours are available throughout the journey. Now, when we're looking at the journey of the World Cruise, it's 125 days, 55 guided tours, 27 different countries, sailing from Los Angeles to London. So many beautiful stops from Hawaii down to Australia, New Zealand, through southern parts of Asia, over to South Africa, up around the coast, ending in London. And I've got a number of great opportunities for you to see what the included value is. So each day, of course, that included tour, the Wi-Fi, the bottled water, no additional charge for those specialty restaurants. Of course, the spa and fitness center. Many guests will have a number of shipboard credits. So if you do want to have a deep tissue massage or have something a little bit more personalized, you're able to do that at the spa. But of course, there's also self-serve laundrettes, but many guests will have as part of their amenity in their stateroom, included laundry, or you can use some shipboard credit for that, or pressing simply to do the laundry, but send it off for pressing. And of course, port charges and fees are included. For our world cruise that's currently going on, there's an exclusive deal going through the end of the month that will also add business class air as included Ground transportation, of course, for many of our suites, that's going to be private vehicles. And then, of course, your gratuities, your silver spirits beverage package. So you can have drinks from sunup to sundown, some premium spirits, premium wines, all included throughout the entire journey. We also help with visas. So depending on the countries that we're traveling to, some of them do require different visas, and we'll help you with that process. We have a company that assists with all of that, making it seamless and very, very easy for you. And also luggage forwarding. So there's a company that will actually pick up luggage from your home and take it to the ship. There that is complimentary heading to the ship, and then there is a service if you wish for going back home for a nominal fee. Of course, through the end of the month, there's also the additional shipboard credit as well as shore excursion credit. All of this can go towards your privileged access tours, some of those more boutique tours, giving you a lot of added value. If you are a past passenger, there's even more shipboard credit that can be added to this sailing. So many guests are really taking advantage of that if you're a past passenger to get that extra $2,000 in shipboard credit. So we really want to make it very much inclusive through and through and through. We even have a reduced deposit currently if you're looking at making a booking. So through the end of the month, some really strong opportunities there. Of course, our complimentary silver spirits and Wi-Fi and all of that on all of our staterooms. So a great way for you to get that added value. So, and you look at altogether, it's almost 70,000 in added value as part of this experience. And when we look at some of the ports of call as we travel, as I mentioned, 125 days, 55 guided tours, ports in 27 different countries. I'm going to just highlight or show you some of the beautiful views of these destinations. Of course, setting sail from LA, making your way over to Hawaii, seeing the beautiful islands, 2 different stops in Hawaii before making your way down to Bora Bora and Tahiti and French Polynesia. Absolutely stunning, beautiful tours, getting to see these different little bungalows over the water. As you make your way then over to New Zealand, I will say there's a nice balance of port days and sea days here on this world cruise. So when you're in ports of call, you're going to spend almost all day off ashore, but then the next day you'll be able to relax and recoup before heading again over to New Zealand, seeing Auckland and some of the neighboring islands, getting to take in its natural beauty, its history, some of its culturally dancing and music. You'll get to go over and try some of the vineyards, some of the great wines. I personally love some of the Sauvignon Blancs in that region before making your way over towards the beautiful Mumford Sound. Some of the most beautiful fjords in the world are actually between Australia and New Zealand. A lot of people think the fjords of Norway or Alaska, even southern South America, but Mumford Sound is one of the most beautiful fjords in parts of New Zealand. Heading over to Tasmania through Australia, getting to see Sydney as well, maybe doing the Sydney Harbour Bridge. You can even see on this picture up at the top of the bridge, there's a walk that you can do up and over the bridge, getting to see the natural beauty of Australia as well, seeing the beautiful beaches, the history, the people of the area, the natural beauty of the waters. Many guests will go off into scuba diving, snorkeling experiences as we then head up to Indonesia and to southern parts of Asia. We get to see its natural beauty. Kick back, relax, take in the wonderful foods at Bali and over to Java as well in Jakarta. You'll also get to see Singapore. There's overnights, multiple days in Singapore for you to really take in all of its beauty, some overland tours, as well as then heading to Maldives, over to the Seychelles as well, and then make your way over to Madagascar, Mozambique, and then down towards South Africa. As you come around Cape Town, getting to see the beautiful Walvis Bay and over to Namibia, and then making your way over to Ghana and wrapping around to Dakar, Senegal, and then towards the Canary Islands in Spain. As you're heading back towards Europe, you're going to get these beautiful islands. You have to try the pineapple and some of the great foods of this area before reaching Lisbon, of course, known for some of the great seafood. It's into the wine region of Porto and that. And then, of course, ending in London. London here. This is the Cuddy Stark, a beautiful vessel, and getting a few days to go over and see the London Eye, maybe the Tower Jewels, all of that in this incredible journey. Now, I could really go on for hours and hours about all of the destinations, all of the ports. We have some videos, Viking.tv, our web-based TV channel, really can go in depth into each one of the ports of call, as well as on our main website and our co-branded website with MOAA Vacations. You can see the day by day, all of the tours that are available in each one of these ports of call. I will say there's safaris when you make it over to Africa. There's some great adventures with culinary experiences throughout the entire journey. Some of the natural beauty over in Bora Bora and Tahiti. Just so much to see, enjoy, and music. We'll have a number of days where step-on entertainers will come and join us. On our world cruise, we also have additional entertainment step-on. So not only our main Broadway-style shows with our cruise director, assistant cruise director, and entertainment team, but we'll also have some step-on entertainment that'll stay for a week or so. We'll also have some additional maybe bridge clubs and different activities that will be part of traveling all together as a nice little view of some of the amenities. So as you see, absolutely stunning spaces all around the vessel, including spaces like our Viking Museum, where our resident historian will spend time each day hosting kind of office hours. We'll have our step-on lecturers, our historians as well. So much to see and enjoy. I will say we continue to win awards for our wonderful service. We recently renamed our Condé Nast Traveler 5th year in a row for both our rivers and our oceans, again, focused on those small ship experiences. And so to win those awards does say how much we really do take care of our guests with the service level. And these are awards that you can't pay for, but they're won through all of the wonderful experience and the value that we provide. I've got one more short video, just kind of recapping kind of why I've enjoyed so much of travel and why I think it's so very important. And this is a message from our chairman and our founder, Torstein Hagen.
When you really philosophize about it, there's only one thing you don't have enough of, and that's time. Time is the only truly scarce commodity. And then, when you come to that realization, I think it's very important that you spend your time wisely. And I think most of us have no regrets about things we did, but I think we can have regrets about things we did not do. More people have come around to this, so what one wants in life is experiences, and that's a way of filling the time one has. And what better way of spending time than traveling? Continue to educate ourselves and broaden our minds.
Viking was named a world's best again by Travel and Leisure readers. Learn more at vikingcruises.com.
To be filled with experiences. And what better way to fill your time than to travel and to see so much in a single itinerary. And so this is what a great opportunity to go off and see so much with like-minded individuals, with MOA members. And so I'm so happy that John and Mike and MOA Vacations have been able to put this group together to give you a chance to see this incredible itinerary. So with that, I will open it up to any questions. As mentioned, I have worked on board our ocean ships as well as on board for the World Cruise. I know John probably has a few we didn't really mention, but there's the Q&A section. Is that the best way, John, or do we want to open it
Yeah,
up?
yeah. So apologize for not mentioning that before. If you take your cursor to the bottom of the screen, you'll see some little icons. If you're on a phone or a tablet, you put your finger down there, you'll see it. And there should be a little conversation bubble, or excuse me, yeah, that has a question mark in it that says Q&A. If you do not see that, there's a round circle with three dots in it that says more. If you click on that, that will then show you all the icons and you'll see that Q&A icon. No questions so far. Thanks, Brett. Obviously, this is a major decision. If you have some questions, you can, of course, email us. Ideally, give us a call, go through, get all your questions answered. As we talked about, the promotion ending on May 31st is the reason we kind of jumped the gun and announced this group last week when we did, because we were originally, as I said, we have this scheduled to be kind of the featured cruise in our ad in a Military Officer magazine in July. And then Viking came out with this promotion, and it's like it's too rich of an offer not to bring it out to everybody now and give you the opportunity. What would you say, Brett? It's got to be at least $10,000 value. I mean, it's 6,000 in onboard credit alone plus one-way international business class air. Everything else is included.
Luggage forwarding, beverage
Pardon me?
package, yeah.
Yeah.
The package, yeah, there's so much with that.
Yeah, and it was interesting. I was talking to somebody, something completely unrelated yesterday. We were talking about it, and he's doing a Viking River cruise. And I mentioned that we had the webinar today, and it was a 125 night cruise, starting at $60,000 a person, which is less than $500 per person per day, which is less then I told him, I said, without even knowing what you're going on, if you're on a Viking River cruise, you probably spent more than $3,500, so, for a 7 night cruise. So it is a great value. The per diems on these world cruises are so much, lower because of the length of the cruise. Travel insurance is being offered through MOA. For those who don't know, I am licensed to sell insurance in all 50 states. I am not a travel agent. So whenever anybody, questions how did I end up running a travel agency without ever being a travel agent, I kind of mentioned my background is insurance and marketing. Actually, insurance marketing is where I came from to begin with. So if anyone has ever had an insurance claim, when we talk about our concierge level of service, and a lot of times I don't have the opportunity to go into this as much detail, but part of that concierge level of service is if you do have an insurance claim and you purchase your insurance through MOA Vacations, I can actually fill out your claims forms for you and then send them to you. You'll obviously you may have to sign a couple of pages and fill in some information. If it's canceling for a medical reason, you'll need to have a doctor fill out just a one-page form if you've ever done it before. But then when those forms are completed, if you'd like, you can send them back to me. I actually peruse them before we forward them on to the insurance company because the most important thing, having used to work for an insurance agency, the easy way to get a claim paid is have everything correct when you initially submit it. Claims examiners, for the most part, are hourly employees who have a quota that they have to process this many claims an hour. So they will get the claim form, and we want to make it as simple as possible for them to just look at it, check off their 6 or 7 boxes to make sure everything makes sense, and then get that claim paid as quickly as possible. 2 years ago, I was saying in the past decade, we had a 100% 100% of the people who filed a claim with the MOAA insurance filed a claim were paid. We did have one person a couple of years ago who filed a claim. Her claim was denied. I don't need to go into the reasons for that, but so that would put us at about 99% paid claims, which is unheard of. When I go to MOAA meetings and I'm sitting there at my MOAA vacations booth, and the person who speaks before or after me is from MOAA Insurance, they just mentioned that that's unheard of. But the key is always to make sure everything's done correctly at the very beginning. And the whole reason you buy insurance is if you have a claim, you want to get it paid. So I'm there to make sure that occurs. Here's a great one for Brett. Brett, what's the single supplement? I think that's out now. We actually put out the original information on this cruise before it was released on Viking's website. So we actually sold our first person on this group before you could actually go to Viking's website and see information, pricing, anything else. So we got in early, which is part of the reason we were able to secure group space. So I know those rates are out now. Brett, do you know what the singles are, or is the easiest thing to do just drop us an email or give us a telephone call and ask, because obviously the single supplement, is it a set percentage or is it going to vary by stateroom?
It it will vary by stateroom. Typically,
Okay.
it is so to 25% off of the second passenger, or what would be a second passenger. But depending on the stateroom category will alter
Okay.
the percentage.
Yeah, so yeah, it's simple enough just to drop an email, mail it MOA Vac, basically short for MOA Vacations. Take, a minute to send us an email and say, I'm looking for what kind of category do you want, a balcony, do you, whatever it is, if you're familiar with the suites, or just let us know and they can get you pricing and call back and kind of go through all the different accommodations with you on the sheet and get that for you. So the pricing is out now. If you received the email, which I assume everyone did, because that's really the only place that we promoted it, it was a link to the website. So if you got the invitation to this, there was a portion in there. It says visit the website for more information. If you click on that link, that'll take you to the website. There is a tab for pricing. There's a little button you can click that converts it from double occupancy to single occupancy. But once again, we're more than happy to help. Just give us a call, drop us an email. And when I do send out the video tonight to the 89 people who registered for this webinar, I will include that link to that website again. I will include, the promotion that ends on May 31st, so everybody knows what's being offered before you book for then. And obviously, if you're not ready to make your decision at this time, obviously we're talking about a cruise in 2029, so it's almost 2.5 years away. So the kind of the rush on it all is to get that $11,000 in additional savings and onboard value if you book before May 31st. But we will continue to promote this group in the coming months. I guess I could almost say in the coming years until the ship is full, to get as large of a group as we can on this. We have 6 people currently, and obviously we just did the webinar right now. Okay, here we go. See, if I keep talking long enough, Brett, they'll come up with questions. The question is what is the deposit, and is it refundable?
So the deposit similarly is based on stateroom category. It is a percentage. Right now it's a reduced. So through the end of this month, I think it's around a 5% deposit on the sailing. The deposit is not refundable, but it is transferable. So if you decide to go on another sailing, you can move that to another sailing, full cancellation up until broken down again based on the stateroom, but usually about 120 days before a sailing. So all of that will be in what we consider an option. So I would suggest you reach out to Mike and John and even Steve and all the team at MOAA, and they would be able to create a booking option for you. That would have the timeline, it would have the deposits based on the stateroom category. But yeah, right now as John mentioned, through the end of the month, there's some really added value. And one of those benefits as well is a reduced deposit through the end of the month.
There you go. All righty.
And I just to add a few things,
Sure.
I think the obviously, if anyone has sailed with Viking before, you know that great service that we provide. But on the World Cruise, we have some additional dedicated teams, whether that be our World Cruise desk that helps before setting sail to take down preferences. So if you have a desired pillow type, or even if you want Gatorades on board, or there's different preferences where we're able to add some of these additional items while on board to ensure that throughout this 125 days, you are able to fully enjoy it and make sure that that stateroom is ready for you. There's a lot of videos and resources on our website, but as well, just a lot of information out there for packing lists and to you know use magnets to put in your staterooms or to bring photos. You're gone for a while, so there's great ways to do almost like your refrigerator door. You can put photos and magnets up on all the walls to make it feel like you're home away from home. So. Um, Really just we've done a lot of this. I think this is going to be our eighth world cruise. So our teams really do know the world cruise experience and the typical questions and how to assist in any way.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, if you guys are like me, and I know I've said this in other webinars, I'll listen to the webinar, I'll do the Q&A, and it seems like 5, 10 minutes after the webinar ends, then I will think of a question that I want to ask. So once again, we'll get the email out tonight. The email will include, of course, both the telephone number and the email address. We are here to answer all of your questions. It is a holiday weekend, so not the greatest of timing. But people will be checking. I know I will actually be in the office both Saturday and Sunday this weekend. Non-related things. We have a couple of MOAA signature groups, or rather signature groups. They're sailing in June and July, so we're trying to get all those finalized. So people will be around this weekend. We'll get back to you as quickly as possible. Monday, currently nobody's scheduled to be in. And then, Tuesday we're open for real. So we do not want you to miss out on this incredible offer just because, of the holiday weekend. So don't hesitate to reach out at any time. Okay, one more. Identical cruise in January 2028. What are the benefits of waiting for the MOAA cruise versus the 2028?
So
Um, Really, actually, the same cruise is offered in 2027 as well. And so when we when we got an inquiry about 2029 a couple weeks ago and looked at it, we thought it was far enough out that it gave us time to really build a nice size MOA group. There is no difference. The May 31st promotion that we just talked about would apply to both the 2027 and the 2028 departure as well. So I would say the one difference um, is there's a little bit of an additional discount with the MOA group, but on a $60,000 per person cruise, obviously a few $100 additional off is not anything that's going to move the needle. So the big thing that we have in the 2029 cruise is the fact that we are going to have a group of your fellow MOA members. As I mentioned, we have 3 cabins booked already. Even if we end up Baba, if you go, even if you go, so even if we only end up with 8 people, I mean, that's a table at dinner, and even if it's not every night, once a week or however it is, the MOA people can get together and have dinner together. You're basically walking on board, a 4 month cruise, quote unquote, knowing people. I use that term all the time for MOA groups, but it's so true. Just friends you haven't met before. The camaraderie is so instantaneous with MOA groups. I've done enough of these that I've escorted that, you'll have been stationed at the same place or know the same people. And this crosses even branches of service that, you all have a shared background. And so that is, to me, the huge benefit. The whole reason that we've never done a world cruise before is, most people, when they do a world cruise, will do them on their own. And so, but we've had enough people who've been on Viking who've expressed an interest about, kind of to throw the phrase out there, the bucket list. Someday, I'm going to do a world cruise kind of thing. We thought that we would put together a group. As I said, we've got 3 couples, which is a nice beginning. we don't have crazy expectations. We're really hopeful to get 16, 20 people, a group of people. So there's people on board, but not like when we do some of these groups, where we have 100, 150. We did a group last year on Atlas where we had 180 people. It will not be that kind of group. Absolutely guaranteed. I'd love it would happen. We just know it's not going to. So that would be, to me, the benefit, the difference between 29 and 28 and the unmentioned 27. Brett, anything you want to add to that?
No, the only other thing would be availability for staterooms if you do have a
Yep.
preference. Since the 29 opened literally last week, there's a lot more availability for cabin choice, especially if you're looking at some of the suites. Typically, our ships do fill from the suites down. So, if you're looking for a little bit more space and amenities, that's where you'll have more opportunity for 28 or 29. 27's pretty starting to fill up pretty quickly. It's almost all full.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, so there's 2027, it still has a few cabins left, but you would need to be very flexible in which stateroom you wanted. Of course, people have preferences where their stateroom is located. So the sooner you book, I know somebody called a couple of days ago, and the question was, sort of like, what cabin numbers are available? And the answer is right now, pretty much all of them. But once this is kind of announced, I mean, if something went out, I have not seen the Viking email yet announcing the 2029 World Cruise is open. I'm sure that is coming out very quickly. We had a question about is the limit on the number in the MOAA group. Once again, there's not a limit on the number of people that can go in MOAA other than availability on the ship. So as the ship fills up, so for example, we will continue to promote this up until the point that the ship is completely full or, there's just such sparse availability that, we don't want to promote something and have somebody call in and say, you have a choice of one cabin or two cabin categories or that type of thing. I will say, and Brett, can speak to Viking specifically, but in general, cruise ships fill towards the middle. So the most economical cabins and the top suites sell first. And so those categories fill, and those also often are also the categories that have the fewest number of cabins in them. And then the kind of the mid-range staterooms where there's more of them are the ones that fill out slower. Doesn't happen with every single cruise, but that's typically what happens industry-wise. I see Brett nodding his head, and I guess you're gonna say that's pretty much what your experience is as well. Oh, you're muted, Brett. All right, who can read lips and tell me what he said? Uh, Can you type your answer in? I don't know what happened. We lost you. Uh, the reduced down payment would apply. So that promotion that we showed all of those amenities, the $4,000 shipboard credit, the $4,000 shore excursion credit, the $2,000 onboard credit, which increases to 4,000, the air, the reduced deposit, the beverage package, the Wi-Fi, that would apply to any of the world cruises that is booked before May 31st. So that is a Viking World Cruise promotion. It has nothing to do with our group. Do all the rooms have balconies?
Yes.
Oh, he's back. Okay, I heard that. I was going to say I could hear you nodding your head, but anything you want to add about the 5% down payment? Oh, I guess we only get one word answers from you. All righty. I am correct, right? That would apply to any world cruise. Okay, thank you very much. So yeah, so that is a world cruise promotion. So yeah, if you wanted to go in 2028, once again, the screen's not up, but give us a call, drop us an email. Most everybody, I think that when I looked at the registration, and I'll admit I looked at it this morning when we had around 82 or 84 people. So we had like five people sign up in the last couple of hours to join us, and there could have been some more who signed up after the webinar. I actually logged in about 35, 40 before the official start time, so I wouldn't have seen that. But everybody up until that point actually had an existing cruise consultant who they'd actually worked with or booked through before. So if you worked with Mike, or you worked with Lisa, or you worked with Steve or Chris or Lydia, or whoever it is, I think when I looked this morning, everyone who was interested in the World Cruise was just one of those three or four agents I mentioned first. So yeah, so your best bet would be is if you've worked with Mike or Steve or Lisa or whomever it is, Lydia or Chris or whatever, just reach out to them. You've worked with them before and say, hey, I'm interested in 2029, or if you're interested in 2028 or whatever, and they can get back to you and say, here's what's available. For 2029 right now, the last time we looked, everything was available. But they can say what's available. If you're looking at 2028, they can say these categories are still available, and work with you. And hopefully you have such a great time in 2028, you decide to come again in 2029. So, all righty. I assume, yeah, all rooms have, that was the last one. Okay. So we are at 250. We always try to keep these around an hour. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Brett, thank you for conducting this from the Atlanta airport. It was
Thank
kind
you.
of scary this morning when I got the text that his flight was delayed or canceled, or who knows what reason Delta had for the change in his flight. But he made a real effort to find a quiet little corner there at the Atlanta airport. And if you're like me and you've been to Atlanta airport, to me, that's the most impressive thing I'll hear today is that someone found a quiet corner there at Atlanta Airport. But anyway, Brett, I'm going to turn it over to you. Oh, we got one more. See if I rem. Oh, great info. Thanks. You're welcome. Okay, well, Brett, on behalf of everyone who attended or is watching this tape delay, we want to thank you for the time and effort to join us today to share your personal experience with being on this cruise. And just so you know, we have a great relationship with Brett. If you've done a Viking webinar before, so if you go out and you ask a question and say, hey, I had a question for Brett since he was on this before, I'm just curious how this goes. We'll absolutely reach out to Brett. I have his text number and his email address and his phone number. We'll track him down and get an answer from him. He is very he's very available to MOAA members when we need to provide stuff. So hope a lot of you can join us. I know this is a bucket list. I know it's short notice. I asked Brett from the very first day, can we get this extended to June 30th? And the answer was no. So I know it's a lot to ask on short notice, but the savings certainly justify taking a good hard look at booking by the end of the month. So, Brett, I'm going to turn it over to you and see if you can actually share the last word. If not, we'll just let everyone go.
Are you able to hear me
I
now? There we
can.
Hey. Well, yes, thank you so much. And I will say, working on board and doing a world cruise was one of the most impactful things in my life. And so, if you are looking or considering this, it will be hopefully one of the most impactful things in all of your lives. And seeing so many destinations, meeting so many people, the cultures, the history, in a single itinerary. So, if this is on your list or wasn't yet, but is now on your list, do consider it. And whether it be the great value that's going through the end of the month or considering, reach out to the MOAA Vacations team, send us the questions, and we can help you navigate if this is something you're interested in, because it is a trip of a lifetime. So thank you all. Have a wonderful holiday weekend. And with that, have a wonderful day. Take care.
Have a great weekend, everyone. Thank you.